Let him have it. Hold it or I'll shoot. Up with him. Now, Mr. Black Whip, take off that mask. Take it off or...
Wait a minute!
Barbara, I expected to find you at Lookout 9. We decoded your message and I hurried out there.
That's where I'd be if the Black Whip hadn't rescued me on the way.
And he got to the mine in time to save my life. It's remarkable how he always turns up at the right time.
This time it can be explained. Some of it, anyway. After he released me, he probably followed the outlaws to the mine.
That must be it. But I'm still worried about you, Barbara.
Why?
Because you're in danger as long as these outlaws think you know who the Black Whip is.
They're probably just desperate and striking out in the dark. They might have tried the same thing on you or the marshal, even on 10 Point.
They'd better not. 10 Point is so worried about you, he's down to his last bottle of jitter tonic.
Poor 10 Point. I'd better ride in and relieve his mind. I'll have to send someone out to fix the phone anyway.
I'll go along and do a little guard duty.
Howdy, Miss Barbie. Mighty good to see you.
Thank you, Zeke. Oh, I'd like you to meet Vic Gordon. Vic, this is Zeke Hayden.
Glad to know you, Zeke.
That makes it unanimous. They tell me you're nigh on to as good a newsprint man as your brother was.
Oh, I'll never be that good, I'm afraid. But I manage somehow. How about you, Zeke? Any luck?
Yep, I think I've made me a strike after all these years.
Oh, Zeke, I'm so glad for you.
Congratulations. Isn't this a story for the Herald, Miss Editor?
It certainly is. If Zeke doesn't mind my printing it. Why, the news of a gold strike will spread like wildfire. It'll bring droves of settlers to vote Idaho into statehood.
That's what I was figuring, but I couldn't say it's fancy.
Maybe it wouldn't be wise to mention Zeke's name or the location of the strike.
I defy anyone to find the location of my strike. I took care of that.
That's good, Zeke, but Vic's right. We won't mention any names or places yet. Isn't it dangerous to carry around evidence of the strike?
Maybe, but I got to have it assayed. I'm sending this to Capital City by stage.
We're going into town. We could take it into the stage office for you.
Thanks, that'll save me a trip.
So long, Zeke. Take care of yourself. Ah!
Bye.
Brooks Assay Company, Capital City. Shipped by Zeke Hayden. This might explain that mysterious gold strike.
Gold strike? Where?
There's a bulletin about it over in the newspaper office. That's mighty high-grade ore. Looks like old Zeke really has made a strike.
When this news gets around, we'll be swamped with settlers.
Yes, and every one will vote for statehood. We've got to stop Hayden before he gives any more news to that paper. That'll check the gold rush. But first, I want to find out where this strike is.
It must be near his camp.
Well, not necessarily. Might be anywhere within 20 miles of it. Tell Baxter and Harris to find out, then finish him off. And tell them also not to bungle this one, or there'll be some notices in the paper they won't be reading.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the paper, Vic?
Well, you can read it over the shoulders of everybody in town.
Yep. Them shoulder readers is what's cramping our circulation.
I'm riding out to the ranch, Vic. How would you like a nice home-cooked dinner as payment for being my bodyguard?
Well, I can't think of a single objection.
Good. We can stop by Zeke's camp on the way and give him a copy of the paper.
Couldn't you sell a copy for once?
Now you're going to tell us where your gold strike is.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You struck gold someplace, and I want to know the location of your strike.
I ain't struck nothing. Somebody's been bamboozling you.
Quit stalling. We know all about the ore shipments you've been making.
Get that poker. We'll make him talk. Take his boot off.
Hey, Baxter.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what we're looking for.
That sounds like trouble at Zeke's camp.
Sit down, Zeke.
Is he hurt bad, Vic?
We ought to take him to a doctor.
I don't feel up to going that far.
It might be better not to move him. I'll drive to the ranch and telephone for a doctor.
Fine, Barbara. I'll stay here and do what I can for Zeke.
So that's where the claim is. Hammond will be glad to hear this.
But not if the old man's still alive. We can't get him with Gordon there.
We're not so far from Hammond's old mine. We'll get a keg of powder and roll it off that cliff above Zeke's camp. Take care of him and Gordon, too.
Hello?
Hello, 10 Point. This is Barbara. Zeke Hayden's been shot. Get a hold of Dr. Shaw and have him go right out to Zeke's camp.
All right. But where are you now, Miss Barbara?
At the ranch, but I'm going back to the camp in case there's more trouble.
Yep. Same old story. Trouble for you, worry for me.
Better lie down a while, Zeke.
Thanks. I can manage now. You better keep your eyes open.
You're right, Zeke. I'll go up on the cliff and take a look around.
Here comes Gordon.
That's far enough, Gordon. The Black Whip!